Okay, class, our next tax credit for part 5 of our chapter 2 video lecture series is the retirement savings contribution tax credit. And if you take a look at the schedule 3, you can see that it's the number 4 credit in our list. Remember, you take the credits in this order, yeah? And again, the total cannot be more than the amount of tax liability for the year because all of these are classified as non-refundable. So this retirement savings credit is calculated on Form 8880 here. And the purpose of this credit is the government is trying to motivate people to save for their retirement. So there's different ways taxpayers can do that. Besides having their employer also contribute to their retirement, we're trying to motivate the taxpayers themselves to contribute into retirement accounts. And you can put money into a traditional IRA or a Roth IRA, or through their paycheck, you can have the employer withhold and contribute into a 401k plan or 403b or 457 plan. Yeah. So that's what all of this here is. They're postponing or deferring their taxability of their wage or salary and putting it into these retirement plans. If you take a look at a taxpayer's W-2 form, okay, W-2, that withholding for retirement may be reducing the taxable wages, not making it tax-free, but postponing the withholding until they retire and start withdrawing it from their retirement account. So that's really one tax benefit. The amount being withheld will possibly show up here in these boxes 12 with some type of code letter and the dollar amount. Yeah, some type of code letter and dollar amount. And the key to the code letter is probably on the back side of the W-2, like these letters here, C, D, F, G, I believe, maybe double A, are deferrals, are amounts being taken out, reducing the taxable wages here and showing up here as some type of withholding. That withholding amount is what's going to be reported here in line 1 for our taxpayer or spouse, line 1 or 2. If spouse, if it's a joint return, then we take a total of all of the retirement contributions. But then again, remember, the main thing we're trying to do here is motivate the taxpayer to save for retirement. But if the taxpayer is taking out withdrawals or distributions, we got to reduce the amount that qualifies for this credit. And it's not just distributions for the current year, but you probably got to go back and look at the past three years, yeah, and reduce the amount being contributed to get the amount of cost now we're going to be qualifying to calculate out the credit. There is a dollar limit per taxpayer here, 2,000 per year. And that's what goes here in line 6, a maximum. Then we combine the two amounts here in line 7 if again it's a joint return. And then that's not going to be the credit. The credit rate is going to be based upon the taxpayer's income. So if you remember line 8B back on the 1040 form, that's going to be the adjusted gross income we've seen previously, reducing other credits we've been looking at. So you look up the AGI down these two columns, and you'll go across the row, and based upon the filing status of our taxpayers, that will determine the rate we use against that 2,000 or 4,000 max over here. Okay, so we multiply it out to give us a tentative credit here in line 10. But because these credits are the non-refundable type, here it says to look at the worksheet and reduce the tax liability by the previous credits we've been working with to get to some kind of limit. And then our retirement savings contribution credit will be limited to that amount right here. Any excess will be wasted. Yeah. So we carry forward, we carry that line 12 again back to our schedule 3, And here in line 4, we write the amount and take a subtotal of all of our non-refundable credits that we again carry back to our line 13B and subtract it out from our tax liability. Okay, one of the easier credits to calculate, in fact, so easy, probably a tax software will probably do everything automatically for you if you have the correct amount of income being reported. Okay, move on to the next video, and that should talk about this residential energy credit.